So what does a guy with a PhD in poetry know about marketing?
Oh, I get asked that a lot. What do I know about business? What do I know about the movies? What do I know about social media? What I know about is storytelling, okay? And poetry is about storytelling. And it's also about using the minimum amount of words to convey the maximum amount of meaning, okay? I mean, you can have, you know, my love is like a flower, okay? All right? Okay? Mm-hmm. Or my love is like a daisy. Okay? Bright, youthful. You immediately get an image. You immediately get power. So business plan writing, marketing. Okay, what's marketing all about? Okay? Buy this shoe. All right? Oh, it's pretty and but how do I get the fact that, okay, what's the greatest poem in marketing? Just do it.
Greatest poem.
Greatest poem.
Okay.
It's a poem,
yeah.
Right? And if you put that with, you know, great running shoe, okay, whatever, I feel faster. I feel better when I'm wearing a Nike shoe, and I'm just going to do it. That's a haiku. It's also a call to action. It's not a call to action. It's not just buy it, okay? Just do it. You're going to need gear to do it. You need gear that helps you feel faster, that helps you do it, all right? So that's where I think the ability to think and to imagine and to distill, marketing's all about that.
Does it help that you didn't come from a marketing background, so you were just doing the same
I think it does. I honestly think it does. I mean, I wrote poetry. I taught high school poetry. I have an English literature undergraduate degree. But I failed miserably trying to be a poet. And I failed miserably trying to be a writer. What I realized is that I understood the mechanics. I understood the structure. I mean, you know, I mean, this is, right, every story in the world is just the Aristotelian, right? It's just that, okay? You've got your personal, professional, private life scene. You've got your inciting incident, first act. Hero takes on a problem that he or she didn't anticipate. Okay, this is where you learn about who they are, what they do, and who they are in private. Series of obstacles, right? The obstacles are environmental, man against man, man against nature, man against business, man against whatever. The climax is always life or death. Okay, it's always life or death. It's about existentialism. Is the hero going to actually live? Not, but will their heart live? Will their brain live, right? And then the rest is just payoff, okay? So knowing that, studying this, realizing it's paint by numbers. So it gives you this freedom to use language and to use imagery because, look, it's just, you know, boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back, okay? Okay. I'm out of shape. I want to start an exercise regime. Nike. Right? Same thing. Okay, so what it allows you to do is go, if you use the structure, okay, that literature and writing and all of these things give you, well then you can translate it into business, into calls to action, into sales figures, into, you know, all those types of things, because ultimately you're just trying to change somebody's life. All right?
Do business people get this when you explain it in this way?
The good ones do. Yes, because this is structure. Okay, business people, a lot of business is looking at numbers, okay, and trying to make projections. And projections are ultimately, there is historical, but then there's also, what about the people? Okay, your sales force, your marketing force, your agencies, or whatever, that are actually conveyed with hitting your numbers, okay? Well, it's not alchemy, okay? There's fundamentals. So the thing that drives me crazy about people with MBAs is they say, there's only one way to do it. And it's proven over time for hundreds of years, okay? Right, did you apply that to your children? Do you apply that to your wife? Right? Are you MBAing your family? No. You're telling stories. So if you step out of the suit and you step out of the boardroom, you're a storyteller. Okay? Then you come into this artificial environment and you put on that suit and you do this thing and you look at those actuarial tables and those Excel spreadsheets and everything. And you know, like, how do you live with yourself? Your brain must explode. Well, it's because you were taught a certain structure. Well, there's structure in this too. You know, people think, well, how do I write a movie? Okay, well, you start with the guy or the girl, okay, who's going along in his life, meets somebody that changes things, gets into a problem, becomes the hero, and then has to either live or die. Be as creative as you want, but you can't do that, right? And I love it when young writers go, well, I'm going to break structure, man. So, oh, good, excellent, excellent. Okay, next, right? The beauty, the creativity in anything comes from going, so right here I have to do a problem. Well, I'll make it a big one. I'll make it a big problem, because then I can make that one bigger, right? But as long as you've got your 5 problems, you're telling a story that our brains are hardwired to accept. Right? In business, it's the same thing. You can't just come out with a new product and try to change everybody's behavior. This is what drives me crazy about new media, right? Well, for millions of years, we sat around a fire, told stories that explained what's outside the fire. Then you have culture and civilization. Well, everybody sat around and there were storytellers, plays and poets and bards. Well, then moved into then movies and then television, right? What do you do when you're watching TV? Sit on your butt. You want to be entertained, right? Yes, I know people are using all kinds of different devices now and all that stuff, but you can't compete with the couch, right? This is what we do as human beings. We sit in the dark and we hear people tell us great stories. That's different than tweeting. It's different than a business plan, but it's still got structure, right? So I just believe that when you demystify art and creativity, you realize that you can be more creative by adhering to the structure. It's like having a closet, right? So here's another little picture that all right? So I love clothes, okay? And I love shoes, okay? Well, if you don't sink some really good screws in here and build some nice cabinetry over here, okay, and put a good shoe rack here, okay, where are your clothes going to end up? On a heap on the floor, okay? So creativity is like a closet. It's only as good as the bar. Now I can hang my...
And the shelving.
And the shelving. And so now I can hang and I can go out and get my beautiful shoes and beautiful whatever and my sweaters, and I can have my suit here, you know, and all that, and, you know, and get good hangers. You know, you don't want wooden hangers with your nice suits. You got to get the padded ones, right? But it's nothing without that, okay? And you got to sink good screws in there, and you got to build good cabinetry, all right? Then fill it up with a whole bunch of stuff. But you don't have a wardrobe without a closet.
Structure, yeah. Got a question for you. Often the secret of a good movie is having a likable hero that the audience wants to get behind. How can organizations with products make themselves the likable hero?
Good question. All right, so I have been thinking about this a lot, all right? And not having the background, the marketing, all that stuff, the finance background, I had to learn about, you know, the vertical nature of business in the past, where it was all silos. You've got your product and your sales and your marketing, and nobody talks to each other, right? So it's always somebody else's fault, right? So sales bitches at marketing, and marketing bitches at product, and finance bitches at whatever. So then, you know, 10 years ago, I said, oh, well, it has to be a hub and spoke, right? And we have to create a wheel, because the product and the value proposition's in here. And you have to use distribution and marketing and sales and PR and blah, blah. Well, that's great as long as the road goes like that, okay? What happens if there's a rock here, okay? This thing goes bank and falls over, okay? Hub and spoke is great on a smooth road with momentum. So, I was doing a keynote and I was talking about social media, digital media as part of an overall channel strategy. Social media is not an expertise, it's a channel, okay? And I was in a Q&A, and somebody says, okay, give us an example. All right, so back to imagery storytelling. I said, look, you've all been to a footy game, right? What do you see? Well, you see the action on the ground, and you see a beach ball in the stands. Boing, 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 bing, 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 bing. Goes all around, it goes up and down. Everybody grabs it. Everybody wants it. There's always somebody that goes, "Aah!" It goes like that, and then the camera zooms in, you're up on the Jumbotron. Everybody wants that beach ball, right? Because they want it to be part of them. They want it, somebody's just gonna whack it like that. Other people are gonna duck. Okay, well, the beach ball is your product. And the footy stadium is your consumers. It's your audience. Think of it as, it's Facebook. It's your movie-going audience, right? So, how do you build that beach ball, right? Well, okay, and this is in 3 dimensions.
It's like an atom.
It is. Yeah, it is. But an atom is, it's also out here, right? Here's your value proposition in the middle. Whatever it is, your product, your service, okay? Out here. So here's your TV ads. Here's your PR. Here's your YouTube channel, okay? Here's your Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google+, etc. All right? Here's your mobile and your app. Here's your press. Okay. Here's your content seeding. Here's your blogger outreach. Okay. And whirling around here are little electrons, right? And electrons are various announcements. This is your Facebook page. Okay. Here's maybe an interview. Okay, these are random, right? But they're whirling around, whirling around. Well, this is the inside of the beach ball, right? It builds the structure. Okay, you have to do it all at once.